Hello guys, welcome to this new video. Today I want to show you how you can make your own forged carbon fiber at home for very cheap, and it's not that difficult. It's a little bit of work, but yeah, you don't need that much for it. You just need some carbon fiber fabric, some epoxy resin, and a 3D printer to create the molds. You could also create the molds in another way, but I found 3D printing was the easiest. So as you can see, I printed my mold and had to correct it a little bit, and then I simply started by cutting up the carbon fiber fabrics, because that comes in mats like this. These aren't that expensive, but to do the forged carbon fiber, you need to cut these up in little pieces. I think you might also be able to buy these like that, so you don't have to cut up the mats, but yeah, for me it was the cheapest way and the fastest, where I can get these carbon fiber stuff from. So yeah, I just cut it up, and then the next thing would be to apply something that you will be able to get the epoxy resin out of the mold again. You could use some fancy spray or release agent or anything, but that was too expensive for me, so I simply used normal grease and greased the molds, and that works very good. You see the structure of the grease that you brushed on at the end, but you can polish and grind that off, so it's not that bad. And then you just mix your epoxy resin, brush some on the mold, and yeah, you have to try out a little bit how much you need. I found out that you need less, or I needed less than I thought I would need, so just pour a little bit in like that and spray it evenly across the mold, because we are doing like a compression mold, so we reduce the risk of air bubbles on the part in the end. And then it's just onto putting the fibers in the mold, and like how do you can explain it, really mix them with the epoxy. You can see how I did it. I hold them in place with this little stick and then try to mix it up with the brush. And yeah, you need to fill up the mold higher than your part should be, because once you put the other side of the mold in, the compression part, you will really compress everything, so you will get a nice solid part like you can see right here. It's the best to compress that as slow as possible to reduce air bubbles and imperfections. I did it a little bit fast, but it still worked, so it's not that bad. You can see here I applied a little extra rest of the resin to the top, and then I placed on the top part and pushed it down. And then you would need to put these in a vise or anything. I just used the jack stand and put it on top of the big part, because I only had one vise, and the vise only worked for the small part, but there you can see it. And then it's just onto letting these dry, and now comes the hardest part, getting this stuff out of the molds, because the grease works, but it doesn't work that good, so getting or separating the molds is quite some work. It was a lot of prying and everything to to separate the two sides again. But it works, and it's super cheap with the, I mean, most people have just some grease at home, so that worked perfect for me. I didn't want to buy super expensive, or I mean, these release agents aren't that expensive, but they are another thing which bumps up the costs for this. And you can see here I managed to get it out. Sadly, the bottom part of the mold broke, but printing another one is super cheap, so it's not that difficult, or not that big of a problem. And you can see there are some edges still on it, but you can cut these off easily. And then I grinded the parts so they get nice and smooth. Always wear a mask for that, because breathing in the carbon fiber dust is, from what I've heard, very, how do you say it? Not that good for your health. So always wear a mask. And then I just grinded this flat, so you get a nice and even finish. I used the rotational grinder, I don't know the English word for it. And yeah, after grinding, I polished it with just some polishing compound and a polish pad on the same machine. That worked okay. If you have a real polish machine, that will work a lot better. And yeah, the smaller mold sadly broke while separating, and I wasn't able to separate it without destroying it. So I just tried to get the part out in any way that was possible. So you can see I sawed into the sides a little bit, and then took the pliers to break this apart piece for piece. That was also a tedious process, but it worked in the end. And as I said, to produce or print this mold, it takes maybe a few hours and a few cents of filament. And the white one was made out of PLA, the other big one was made out of ABS, and both worked. I haven't noticed any real difference between the filaments, so I think you can use the filament that works best for you. I mean, when the epoxy resin dries, it creates a lot of heat, but yeah, I think it's not that bad, so your plastic could melt or something. So yeah, and then just need to get the excess off. I used the knife for that. It is pretty easy to work with. And after that, I just gave it a few coats of, also polished both parts, and gave it a few coats of clear coat. Yeah, clear coat is the word. And yeah, then it was finished.
Alright, so as you saw, the shifter cover is finished. That's how it looks. I added a little 3D printed lip right here because I didn't make this 2.5 centimeters thick. I think it's just 2, or this has to be 3.5, I think, for the tabs to work. I think that's 3.5, and this I made the carbon just 2.5 because else it would just be very thick without a reason, because it's super strong. I could even make it thinner. You can see how thick it is. But I made this so it fits on these clips right here. I will show you how to install it. Then I greased the back so this slides easily. And yeah, so let's install it. It's pretty simple. You just need to remove the center console. For that you need a best would be such a tiny wrench with a Phillips head. Maybe try this one or this one. Because you need to remove these screws down here, and I'm going to stick the wrench on it. And then I can start. I think it turned the wrench around. Oh, no, it didn't. This wrench is also broken a little bit. Perfect. Alright, that's the first one. Then the second one is down here, back there. It's just the same on both sides. So also remove the back ones. Next would be to undo the shift knob. Like that, even if you have the standard shift boot in here, the process is the same. And then pull the handbrake up, remove this little cover down here. It's just clipped in like that. And then you should be, let's get in here. You should be able to lift this up like that. I will, pop the car out of gear. Just lift it up like that. Up a little bit. And then, then the two switches are still connected on the bottom. You can disconnect them. I will leave them on because I can reach down here without needing to remove these. But let's see if I can turn this so you can see the tabs on the bottom. I would like to show those. Push these to the side and push from the top. Then pop this out of place. This is the old one, so you can see it's worked pretty good. No damage. The first generation of this shifter cover, there was no space in between the slider and the top half, so it scratched up here a little bit, but I already improved that on version 2, so nothing should scratch. Let's put this aside, or maybe you can compare it. This is the new one right here. And as you can see, I made a space in between here, so the surface up here doesn't get scratched. And here, right here, you can see these tabs. You have to bend them. Once you put it in, bend them back a little bit because they are quite stiff in the plastic, and they will stay in place if you don't do it. So let's put this up like this. Push it onto one side and then to the other. Alright, heard it click. Now I will bend these plastic tabs back a little bit. If you bend them around too much, I think they can also break pretty easily, but because they're very flimsy, so we're just now going to put everything back in place. This right here. Look that the shift knob is lining up. Then push it down like that. Push that back into place. That right here, and that. With that, it's installed. Works perfectly. Alright, then we can install everything in the reverse as we did before. Screw the shift knob in place and then just put the 4 screws back in and it's ready. Looks pretty good in my opinion. What do you think? You can write a comment. And I'm also thinking about selling these on my website. Now the question would be if I've teasered or made the video already or not. But you can write in the comments if you would be interested in buying such a shifter cover. Even if it has like these little, I don't know if I can get it on camera, there are some imperfections. You can see it pretty good right here. There are some how do you say, edges in the carbon fiber, and there's a little, I think you can see it. There's a little spot right here, and there are some tiny points where there are just some tiny holes, or not really holes, but dents in the carbon fiber. So yeah, there are some imperfections, but I mean, this is handmade, so I'm super happy with it. I think it still looks amazing. It's hard to show that these 3D forged carbon fiber structure on camera, but yeah, fits to the display. Do I have my key? Yeah, I can activate it so you can see it. Yeah, it's on and everything fits. So yeah, I would say that's the install of the new shifter cover. And yeah, that's it for the video. I would say thanks for watching, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Bye!